What's up, guys? Welcome to Cage High Connor. I am Connor. Today's video, we're going to be doing my top 10 most anticipated fights for August 2025 in the UFC. This is going to be, just my personal list. I'm not trying to do like what's the consensus overall MMA fandom's most anticipated fights of the month or anything like that. It's just fights I'm looking forward to. So that means a lot of lightweights, a lot of bantamweights, a lot of featherweights, some middleweights, and some welterweights sprinkled in there as well. Nothing above or below that. No women's fights. Because who's actually looking forward to those? No, I kid. There's great women's fights out there. But yeah, I'm gonna go over my top 10 then. Before we get into the video though, guys, please remember to subscribe to my channel. If you don't, I'm gonna pull out Hamzat from the UFC 319 main event, and we're never gonna get Hamzat versus DDP. So that's gonna be on you if you don't subscribe. So if Hamzat gets injured or whatever, you know what happened. You know. Let's get into the video then, guys. First fight I am picking, number 10. Lonnie Kavanaugh versus Charles Johnson. This fight's going down on August 23rd on that China card. At the end of the month, that will be the last card of the month. Lonnie Kavanaugh, if you don't know, he's an undefeated prospect in the UFC flyweight division. He's very well-rounded, but he has very flashy striking. He's super fun to watch if you've never seen him fight before. He's 2-0 in the UFC now, and this is kind of a good test for him. Charles Johnson is sort of a long-time UFC vet at this point. Been in there probably like 4 or 5 years now. Was riding a good 4-fight win streak before he lost his last fight, but one of those was the win over Joshua Van. That happened at the Sphere card, I believe, or maybe a little bit before that. It doesn't matter. But yeah, he got a TKO win over Joshua Van, and you all know how good Joshua Van is now. So I mean, take a look at Charles Johnson if you haven't watched his fights before, because he puts on great fights, really exciting fights. And I think this is just a good, fun, hey, how good is this prospect fight in Lonnie Kavanaugh? You know, it's a good, very good test for him, and we're gonna actually see how good Lonnie Kavanaugh actually is. And I love fights like that where it's like, yeah, let's take this prospect, give him someone real, and let's find out how good he actually fucking is. My number 9 fight then is gonna be Andre Touchy-Feely versus Christian Seabrod Rodriguez. Both guys, funny enough, coming off a loss to Michele Zala Costa in their last fight. So that guy kind of just ran through both of them. Not ran through Christian Rodriguez. It was a closer fight, but he did submit Andre Feely, like it shows here. Andre Touchy-Feely is a longtime UFC vet at this point. Christian Rodriguez, a bit newer, but still been around the game a little while now. Most of his career was fought at bantamweight. He's the guy that has that win over Raul Rojas Jr. But yeah, he's going to be taking on Andre Feely on August 9th. So that's going to go down at the Apex in a couple weeks here. It's a very exciting fight. I imagine this will turn into a mostly kickboxing match, if I had to guess. And they'll just kind of stand bang on the feet, and it's going to be a good time. Can't wait for that fight. August 9th. Next fight then, number 8, is going to be Tim Elliott versus Kai Asakura. This is the first fight I'm picking off that UFC 319 pay-per-view, going down August 16th in Chicago. This is a great fight. Tim Elliott, longtime UFC vet at this point, coming off a big win in his last fight, got a nice arm triangle. Kai Asakura, of course, coming off that loss to Alexandre Pantoja from last December. He lost the title fight in his UFC debut, and he probably shouldn't have gotten a UFC title shot in his debut. In hindsight, I think we can all kind of agree on that. And this is probably the fight that he should have gotten for his UFC debut, is a match against Tim Elliott. Yeah, so I think this fight makes a lot of sense, and I think it's a good test for Kai Asakura, find out where he really is in this UFC flyweight landscape. It should be a good one. Hopefully he wins, and we can get some fun matchups for him in the future. Number 7 then is Edson Barbosa versus Dakar Klaus, going down August 16th. Another fight going down on that UFC 319 pay-per-view. I believe this one's on the prelims as well, or at least that's how UFC currently has it on their website. Yeah, this is a sick fight. Edson Barbosa moving back up to 155 for the first time in a few years here, which is probably where he always should have been. I can't believe Edson Barbosa made 145 for so long. Considering how jacked this man is. I mean, he was just shredded down at 145. And he's going to be taking on Dakar Klaus, who always puts on exciting fights. Edson Barbosa coming off the loss to Lerone Murphy, who's going to be making an appearance later on this list. Wasn't a good fight for Edson Barbosa. He kind of got mollywopped there. It's funny because I thought we were going to have a good Edson Barbosa resurgence after his win over Sadiq Yusuf back at the end of 2023. But no, wasn't meant to be. And Dakar Klaus coming off a brutal knockout loss from Joel Alvarez. And Dakar Klaus, kind of longtime UFC guy at this point, heavy hands, puts on exciting fights. I kind of worry for Barbosa's chin here. I do not see this one going into the distance either way, going to the judges either way. Whoever wins, someone's getting finished here. Someone's getting knocked out. And yeah, it might be Barbosa. Dakar Klaus, very heavy hands, and Barbosa known to be a little bit chinny, especially in the later stages of his career here. But we will see. It should be a very fun fight nonetheless. Number 6, Esteban Rivas versus Elvis Brenner, going down on August 2nd. So only a couple of days away from this one. This is the only good thing about the upcoming UFC Apex card going down on August 2nd. I kid, there are a couple other good fights on there, of course, but this is the best thing for sure. If you're only going to watch one fight this weekend, this is the fight to watch, trust me. Esteban Rivas, Elvis Brenner. Esteban Rivas coming off a loss to Nasrat Hasrat. That was a very close fight. He lost a split decision there. If you don't remember Esteban Rivas, he was the guy that had the crazy fight versus Daniel Zellhuber at the Sphere, and that ended up being pretty much everyone's fight of the year, and it was a sick fight. This guy puts on incredibly fun performances, and same thing can be said about Elvis Brenner, who's coming off a loss to Joel Alvarez. Another knee knockout by Joel Alvarez making an appearance on this list. I just like watching Joel Alvarez knee guys in the face, I guess. But Elvis Brenner, training partner of one Charles Du Bronx Oliveira, fights pretty similarly to him. Maybe, you know, not as good as him, of course, but pretty similarly. So you know he's going to come out wild, and this should just be a fantastic fight. I'm very much looking forward to this fight. It's a shame it's going down at the Apex, but whatever, I'll take it. Number 6 then, or no, excuse me, number 5, going down on August 9th, Roman Dolidze versus Anthony Hernandez. Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, one of my favorite fighters, currently active right now. I love Fluffy Hernandez, so of course I'm going to put him high up on this list. This will be the main event at the UFC Apex card on August 9th, which is a better card than the August 2nd UFC Apex event, but still not the best card. But I do love this fight very much. Roman Dolidze coming off a win over Marvin Vettori from earlier this year. Got a nice decision win there. Anthony Hernandez also got a decision win. Not a choke. It looks like a choke because of this picture, but he didn't get a choke. He got a decision win over Brendan Allen back in February of this year. And this should just be a very fun grappling match. I just love watching Anthony Hernandez fight. His cardio is insane. His pressure's insane. His output's pretty insane, especially when he gets it to the ground. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how this one plays out here, and expecting Anthony Hernandez to win, and then big things ahead for him in the future. Number 4, going down on August 23rd, Aljamain Sterling versus Brian Ortega. If you don't like grappling, don't watch this fight, because I'm hoping, well, I say that, but this could be one of those where the grappling kind of cancel each other out, and it just ends up being a sloppy kickboxing match, which I don't really want to see from these two. I really hope it's just a crazy grappling affair with crazy scrambles, crazy submission attempts, all that good shit. Aljamain Sterling, of course, coming off the loss to Mozart Evolov from late last year. Brian Ortega coming off a loss to Diego Lopez, also from last year at the Sphere card. And yeah, I just think this is going to be a very fun grappling match. This is a great matchup between these two. These are the type of fights I like seeing Aljamain Sterling in. I like seeing him against other grapplers. Like every time the UFC puts him against a striker, I'm like, come on, guys, like, let's match him up a bit more smartly here. But this is the type of, like, fantasy matchups we were doing when Aljamain Sterling moved up to featherweight. Like, oh, wouldn't it be great to see him fight Brian Ortega? Wouldn't it be great to see him against this high-level grappler or that high-level grappler? I don't necessarily want to see Aljamain Sterling fight, like, a Yair Rodriguez or anything like that. I think this is perfect matchmaking for him. Two guys coming off losses as well. So I'm very much looking forward to this fight. Going down on that China card as well. I don't know why it's in China. All places, like, why do we have 2 Americans fighting in China? But whatever, especially in the co-main event of that card. Maybe they just wanted to buff up that card a little bit, but it doesn't make too much sense. But I'll take it either way. Number 3, Jeff Neal versus Carlos Prates, going down on that UFC 319 pay-per-view on August 16th. This is the 2 heaviest hitters at welterweight, in my opinion, or at least the 2 highest rank heaviest hitters at welterweight, in my opinion. Jeff Neal coming off that TKO win over Rafael dos Anjos, which was a very weird fight, to be fair. Rafael dos Anjos just didn't look himself in that fight. He kind of looked his age, which is like 41 now, to be fair. So I don't know if RDA has any business fighting at welterweight right now. Regardless though, Jeff Neal, very heavy hands, heavy hitter, fun fighter. We all remember that Shavkat Rakhmonov fight with Jeff Neal. That was a great fight, so I'm hoping for something like that. Carlos Prates coming off the loss to Ian Machado Gary from back in April 2025. Yeah, he didn't look great in that fight, except that 5th round where he almost got Gary out of there. But nonetheless, I think this will be a very fun fight, and I'm expecting someone to get knocked out here. Like I said, 2 heavy hitters, and I think it'll be a fun war on that UFC 319 pay-per-view. My number 2, Lerone Murphy versus Aaron Pico, going down August 16th, is the co-main event now for UFC 319. Say what you will about this fight. I know it seems like a lot of people are disappointed that this is the co-main event to UFC 319. I don't give a fuck. I am just very excited to see Aaron Pico make his UFC debut. And I think this is probably even more of an exciting fight than it would have been versus Aaron Pico versus Mozart Evloev. I think Lerone Murphy's gonna be I call him Leon Murphy. Oh, God, he's not Leon, he's Lerone. I think Lerone Murphy's gonna be looking to counter here. He's gonna be looking to play the kickboxing game, and Aaron Pico is just a wild man, so he's gonna be coming at him. And I think they match up very well for that. You know, when you match up a counter striker with someone as aggressive as Pico. Now we'll see how Pico acts when he finally gets to the big show in the UFC here, but I'm expecting fireworks from the very start of this fight. So nevertheless, I expect this to be a great fight. Whether you like it being the co-main event to UFC 319 or not, doesn't really matter, because it's gonna be a banner, I promise you. Of course, Lerone Murphy coming off the win to Josh Emmett from earlier this year, kind of picked them apart for 5 rounds there. Looked very good doing it. Aaron Pico coming off the win over Henry Corrales from back in PFL, which was all the way last year. So he's been off a little while now, which is one thing I'm kind of worried about. But he is in insane shape at the moment. So we'll see. We'll see how Aaron Pico is actually going to look here. But I'm expecting fireworks nonetheless. I think they match up well together. And it's a good co-main event to UFC 319. No, it's not a title fight. No, it's not. It might not even be a #1 contender fight. Although I think you could justify giving the winner of this fight a title shot against Alexander Volkanovski later in the year if you wanted to. But regardless, very much looking forward to this fight. Can't wait to see how Aaron Pico does in the UFC. And then, of course, that brings us to my #1 most anticipated fight for August 2025 in the UFC. That, of course, is Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev, going down August 16th at UFC 319 in Chicago. If this isn't your #1 most look forward to fight, shit, this might be my most look forward to fight for the rest of the year. You know, maybe once they book Islam versus JDM, then that'll take the spot. But regardless, as of right now, this is it. I mean, this is such a good fucking fight. I'm so happy that Khamzat is getting his title shot now, and it's against Dricus du Plessis of all people. Remember, we were all theorizing 2-3 years ago Khamzat would be fighting Kamaru Usman or Izzy for the belt or something like that. But no, it's even better. We get the wild man himself, Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat. It's going to be an insanely good fight. I cannot wait for this. I'm counting down the days. Dricus du Plessis coming off the win over... There's a creepy image of Khamzat, by the way. Look at him. Look at him just look into your soul. Man's terrifying. Du Plessis coming off the win over Sean Strickland from back in February 2025. Solid rematch here. I just don't think Dricus du Plessis and Sean Strickland match up super well together to put on the most exciting performances. But I am expecting this fight to be entirely different from that. I think this Dricus du Plessis and Khamzat match up to make a wild fight. Khamzat, of course, coming off the win over Robert Whitaker from late last year, I believe. Yeah, I think it was in Abu Dhabi in that October pay-per-view last year, where he crushed his fucking teeth in. How crazy is that? So yeah, I don't know how this fight's gonna actually end up going. I kind of hope we just get like a 5-round war here. I don't know if Khamzat's conditioning will let him do a 5-round war is the problem, but I expect rounds 1 and 2 to just be absolutely bananas at the very least. And then if it gets past that, yeah, I would expect DDP to probably take over from there and get a finish. So we're probably looking at either a Khamzat finish round 1 or 2, or a DDP finish between rounds 3 and 5. if I had to guess here. But regardless, if I get it my way, this will go the distance, and it'll just be a 5-round war, and it'll be a draw at the end, and we get a rematch, because that's how good this fight is. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for my list. Then let me know what your most anticipated fight is for you for the UFC in August. Please remember to subscribe to my channel, like I said earlier. Otherwise, Hamzat will get pulled, and we won't get that fight at all. Let me know how excited you are for Hamzat Chimaev versus Drake du Plessis for the middleweight title going down in UFC 319. And I will catch you all in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.